Hello everyone, and welcome to this Education App Guru video tutorial. Today we're going to start a series about how to find apps that you might use as a teacher, and we're going to begin that series with a look at browsing around the categories in the App Store. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my main screen and open the App Store. You can see it up in the upper left hand corner, the blue icon. Now on this main screen here, it's the featured screen. And they're showing you their recommended apps from all the different categories. We have things here from the education category, yes, but also there's a lot of games, a lot of things to do with music or photos, all sorts of categories. And we usually, as teachers, want to find something that's in the education category. So you can get to those different categories if you look up at the top where it says all categories, games, kids, newsstand, more, right underneath the time. We want to tap on the More tab, and we're going to get a list of all the categories in the App Store. And there's going to be a couple different categories that I'm sure you're going to want to browse around. We're going to be going into the education category here in a second. But toward the bottom, depending on what you teach, you might find something in the music category or the medical category if you're a science teacher like I am. The productivity category is going to be great. We're going to see some apps from that category later, and maybe even the reference category or something like that. But let's go back up to the top and tap on the education category. And now it's going to take us to a very similar looking screen to the one we started with, but these are just featured education apps. So the best new apps are just education, or maybe even reference or productivity apps that they think people in education, whether it's a teacher or student, might be interested in. And then if you look a little bit farther down, we're going to get into some categories of education apps, some smaller categories. So you can see what I've got here at the top of the screen, the collections. This is going to send you to a new page in the App Store that has more lists of apps. For instance, we see this app for teachers banner. If I tap on that, it's going to get me to a page where they've collected apps that they think a teacher might use, and they try to divide them up into little categories based on how they're helping you out. So that's going to be a great place to start to see, find some apps that you might use. And then not only do we want apps that'll help us with our workflow, we also want apps that are specific for our grade level and specific for our subject area. Things that we can actually use during class time, during lessons, to help bring our lessons alive. And if you scroll a little bit farther down the page, you're going to start to see these categories divided up by the age level. They're starting here with preschool and kindergarten. They have individual apps that they're highlighting in that category, but right below that they have specific subject areas for preschool and kindergarten. So all of these with the handprints are going to be appropriate just for that age level in those different subjects. A little farther down you see elementary school, individual apps that they're highlighting, and then also categories, subject areas. Then we go down to middle school, high school, and then there's even some beyond that. So this education category is going to be a great place for you to start off looking for apps that might interest you, things that you think you might use in the classroom. And we'll talk in later videos how you can find apps in other places as well. Alright, that's all for this tutorial about browsing the App Store. You can find more tutorials in this series and also other tutorials and app review videos on my website, which is edappguru.com. Thank you for listening.